で
Alright, hello, we're going to be starting in a few, just getting everything in order as usual. So stick around, listen to this banging tune, and I'll be back shortly.乗りかけた船があればその先へ一歩一歩ゆっくりと前へ踏み出す愛を知って立ち上がった俺の姿は一歩一歩ゆっくりと前へ踏み出す
Skip the hard gun.
Silent fever, feeling so nice. Yeah. Are you ready for this?
Alright, so tonight we're going to continue with more Gabriel Knight and seeing how much further we can get in his story and I guess the equivalent to Tarascon my background. Anyways, so yeah, I'm excited, I'm nervous, but so far so good. So, I guess we'll go ahead and get that booted up here. Let's see, let's switch over to game mode here. I'm just waiting for it to boot up and everything should be good to go. And it... Hey. Okay. Oh. What? Hold on. Okay. Always being cryptic. Okay. What does that even mean? Oh, hold on. Hey, so far so good, except for whatever the hell just happened. Oh, he sent me a thing here. What is this? Oh, it's a video. Okay, hold on. Maybe we'll boot the video first. Okay.
High in the Sierra Mountains, just outside of Yosemite National Park, is the home of Sierra Online, the creator of the world's greatest interactive fiction.
Okay.
Once again, Sierra is breaking new ground with one of the most captivating, challenging, and intense interactive stories ever created.
Okay, that's what we're playing. It says that this is a making of. Oh, making of. Okay, I'm interested.
Gabriel Knight, Sins of the Fathers,
Oh, that's
is a
the
psychological suspense story of one man's desperate search to safeguard his future by unraveling his past. A generations-old voodoo curse haunts Gabriel's sleep and threatens his very life. Gabriel's search into the roots of voodoo, combined with the images of his own nightmares, provide the keys to unlock the curse and save his very
I haven't
existence.
been there yet. Oh, there. There's a castle.
Game designer Jane Jensen and a team of programmers, artists, animators, musicians, cinematographers, actors, and other specialists
God,
have spent over
okay.
a year creating this
Over a
incredible
year?
adventure.
When did this come out?
Come, join us behind the scenes for an inside look at the making of Gabriel Knight. Jane began the Gabriel Knight project immediately following her work as co-designer and writer for King's Quest VI, which was the best-selling computer game of 1992.
Oh, damn,
For
okay.
Jane, Gabriel Knight was a true labor of love.
Well, I came to Sierra Online because I really loved adventure games. My first one was King's Quest IV, and I loved the medium the way it was. I love puzzles of all kinds, and I like the graphics. But as a writer, when I came here, I kind of got inspired thinking about how far this medium could go. Sierra was already at that point changing a lot of its direction, and I feel very strongly that this medium can be as powerful of entertainment as any film
hasn't
or any
happened
book
yet.
or any, comic or whatever medium you have. And I don't think that I try not to limit my thinking about the powerful nature of the story because it's a computer game. I think that we can make computer games that are just as good as any other form of entertainment.
I haven't been there
With
yet.
Gabriel Knight, Jane also pioneered a number of changes to the familiar Sierra game interface.
We get letters from people saying they think that the game assumes too much. It assumes that they want to pick up something when they click the hand on it, where they may have been trying to open it. So I wanted to try to keep the point and click and the icons, the visuals instead of words, and introduce a little bit more freedom of action. That and the dialogue trees are the way we've done that with Gabriel Knight. I think it's made it a very difficult game.
Can't
But
even
I
make
hope
out what
that
the hell
people
they're
will
saying.
Take a little time to get used to it.
An experienced team of artists and animators transformed Jane's
Wait, that
vision
was all done
into
by
the game's
hand?
distinctive style and appearance. Lead
God,
illustrator
holy
John
shit,
Schroeds
okay.
created an overall art design that borrows from the dark look of film noir,
All
combined
of that
with
by
the
hand.
distinctly stylistic appearance of graphic novels.
We use the graphic novel as an influence for the cut panel format to bring out climaxes in the storyline.
A talented team of artists created over 80 breathtaking original background illustrations
80?
and scores of cut panel and dream sequence pictures. Like the sets of a motion picture, they create the backdrop for the incredible world of Gabriel Knight.
Wow, okay.
Lead animator Michael Hutchison harnessed an arsenal of animation tools and techniques. over 2,000 individual animations, and dozens of cinematographic and cut panel sequences were created.
And this was in
The
1992.
resulting game visuals define new standards for interactive adventures, giving Gabriel Knight the look and feel of a motion picture production.
Well, one of the things that we were really excited about when we started work on Gabriel
That's impressive.
was the opportunity to really make it visually any way that we wanted to. It's the first in the series, and we weren't locked into any particular style with this game. We could have the cut panel sequences of stills and then animate those in comic books fashion.
Huh.
We could have video capture, we could have 3D studio, we could composite all of these different mediums
Wait,
into one.
so, hold on. So
and-
even the
and really
characters
get
are
some
just
pretty exciting
images
effects, I think.
taken from a
The
camera.
programming team integrated the graphics, animations, cinematographic sequences, user interfaces, puzzles, dialogue, narration, sound effects, and music, creating the final game.
The main challenge for us is the movie-like quality that we can attain with the CD game. Previously, we would have dialogues would always be in text, and the action would basically stop. Now we have the talking going on while the action is going on, and synchronizing those two things is a new experience for me, but it really gives the game an extra flavor.
We haven't been there
Before,
yet.
we took text-based games and turned them into CD games. So we really got a text-based game on a CD. Now we have a truly CD-oriented game.
The musical soundtrack has always been a distinctive element of Sierra games, and Gabriel Knight is no exception. Game producer and musician Bob Holmes composed an enthralling soundtrack of original music that sets the mood and adds depth and dimension to the world of Gabriel Knight.
My background really is in film scoring, and I tend to really levitate to a lot of the old style Max Steiner kind of film scoring, in which using a theme is much more valuable
I'm
than
familiar with
texture.
Max Steiner, actually.
One of my goals for Gabriel was to latch on to a few really strong themes and then use those in different ways. Gabriel was a great vehicle for music because of the texture and the darkness and the tone. It just gave me a lot of rich things to work with.
The musical score is augmented by hundreds of realistic sound effects. This brings a cinematic scope to the game's soundtrack and adds life, energy, and believability to the game
Why are
playing
you rubbing
experience.
stone on stone?
I really don't want to be dead.
Wait, that's why his voice
Try
sounds
again.
familiar. It's Tim Curry.
Perfect.
The compelling characters that were created
Okay.
for Gabriel Knight took on a whole new dimension,
That
thanks
makes
to the
sense.
star-studded cast of Hollywood veteran actors enlisted by Sierra to provide their voices.
About Detective Mosley.
The Hollywood Reporter proclaimed
doesn't
that
s-
Gabriel
oh, that's
Knight
so-
is the first
he's
time
good.
an all-Hollywood
Wait,
cast
that's Mark
of name
Hamill.
actors has been assembled for an interactive movie.
Who the fuck does Mark
Veteran
Hamill
Hollywood
play?
producer, director, writer, and performer Stuart M. Rosen signed on to cast and direct the voiceover actors. Rosen has directed hundreds of hours of animation voiceovers and on-camera television. He has been honored with scores of awards, including 10 Emmys.
Gabriel Knight absolutely measures up and is far and above a number, in fact, I'd say most things that I've done, in many ways. You know, obviously,
I
it's a
like
different
Tim
form.
Curry.
It's not,
That's actually,
it's not
I actually really
movie
enjoy
film,
this
and
now.
It's not a television series or a half-hour or an hour special. So it's different. It's a different form. But I think it's outstanding. I'm very proud of it. I want everybody to see it.
With nearly 7,500 lines of dialogue
I'm
and
sorry, how
narration,
many?
covering all the possible paths the player could follow, this project was the equivalent of directing voiceovers for 5 full-length animated feature films. Gabriel Knight was Rosen's second collaboration with Sierra. He also directed Robbie Benson and others for the CD-ROM version of King's Quest VI.
I'm not familiar with that.
Drachen means dragons. I wonder if Mosley would know he was being insulted if I called him Drachen Breath.
Tim Curry is among Hollywood's most talented
like
and
that.
versatile actors. Using his sensuous masculine voice, Curry created a distinctive personality for the title character of Gabriel Knight.
This is a newspaper clipping about a murder committed in 1810. That murder is an exact match of the Voodoo murders, right down to the marks around
Spoiler?
the bodies.
Major
Tim Curry is
spoiler.
Gabriel Knight. It's kind of an interesting story. We were trying to cast Gabriel, and we're looking at some of the younger actors, you know, some of the Brat Pack kind of people in Hollywood, and I just wasn't getting a feeling that they were right for the character. And I kind of teasingly said, well, we need to get someone like Tim Curry because he's a very sensual person who's got a real attitude, but you can't help but really like him and really be attracted to him no matter how, you know, off the wall or how obnoxious he's being in his role. The
That's
casting
true.
director said,
That's
well,
why I
know-
like Tim
know
Curry.
I've worked with him. I think we could get him. And I was amazed.
Curry is also one of Hollywood's busiest actors. He has a starring role in the Three Musketeers movie, which recently opened to rave reviews nationwide. His recording sessions for Gabriel Knight were scheduled around his latest project, a featured role in the upcoming movie The Shadow.
Gabriel Knight is very, very cool and impossibly handsome. And of course they came to me. He's enormous fun for me to play because I'm a huge fan of New Orleans, and I go there quite a lot. So it had never really occurred to me that anyone would ever want me to play somebody from New Orleans. So I kind of leapt at the chance, but also it's really very exciting to be part of this kind of whole new kind of development, because any new way to infiltrate myself into your minds.
Curry has created scores of roles on stage, screen, and television, including memorable performances in the Rocky Horror Picture Show, The Hunt for Red October, National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon, Home Alone 2, and in the television comedy Roseanne.
Ooh, baby, I love the way you move.
Mark Hamill is best remembered for creating the role of Luke Skywalker in
Of
the Star
course.
Wars motion picture trilogy. Since then, Hamill has concentrated on stage work, with leading roles in several Broadway productions. He displayed his talented versatility in creating the voice for Detective Mosley.
Give me back my badge. Now,
Oh,
Knight.
he's the detective.
Well, I'm basing him on
I didn't even
various,
notice that.
people I might have met, a little mixture of Gary Busey with Randy Quaid, with Mr. Anderson, and I think he's a very pragmatic guy, sort of by the book. You know, he finds the protagonist to be someone he has to work to catch up with. But it's fun and it'll all work great, but for the actor it's very difficult. It's very schizophrenic because they ask you a question and you have 5 responses. Oh, wait a minute, I gotta call the chief and see if it's okay. Oh, wait a minute, I gotta call my wife and tell her I'll be home late for dinner. Now, wait a minute, I gotta...
But you don't... What, Mosley doesn't have a wife
It's
because his
like
wife left him.
nothing I've ever done.
What do you
I'm having a
mean?
great time doing it.
Rising star Leah Remini brought the right mix of wit, sarcasm, humor, and
Oh my
compassion
God,
to
she's
the
so
voice of
young there.
Gabriel's assistant, Grace. She provides
She plays as the
sometimes
the
chauvinistic
wife in that
behavior.
one show.
Well,
what is
I
it called?
did get her address, but
King
you're
of Queens,
a little
I
out
believe.
of your league here, big fella.
Among her numerous television roles, Remini guest starred
Wait,
in
this is
several
before
episodes of the hit
Scientology or
series
during
Cheers,
Scientology?
and currently has a recurring guest role on Evening Shade. Gabriel Knight was her first interactive work.
When you're on camera, you could use your face and you can mug and you could do things, and whereas when it's just your voice,
God,
you
she's
think
so
you sound
young.
great and you think
Holy
you're doing
shit.
this great acting job, but it really just sounds very flat, and it sounds like you're reading. And when I have the lines in front of me, I forget that I have to act. So the director will say, okay, do it better this time, but this time act. So I'm not really good at it. I'm getting better though. So, but it's easy with these, I love the characters, so this one I find very easy.
I see. By the way,
Wait, that's
I
Worf.
forgot to warn you, Mr.
From
Knight.
Star Trek.
The local cemeteries are quite dangerous. Muggers, vandals. I would avoid going there alone, if I were you.
Never met
While
him
the
yet.
face may not be immediately recognizable, the voice of Michael Dorn is unmistakable.
Michael Dorn,
Best known for
that's his
creating
name.
the character of Worf on Star Trek: The
Yeah,
Next
I was
Generation,
right, Worf.
Dorn's commanding, resonant voice was a perfect choice for Dr. John.
Dr. John.
You! What are you doing here?
You know, Worf is very distinctive. He has a very distinctive voice and a distinctive way of talking. And sometimes you could get into trouble by all of a sudden slipping into the Worf character just by the way he talks. And that's probably the hardest thing is getting out of it now. It's been 7 years, and so immediately you go into it. Although Worf his voice is a lot lower than mine, and he's a lot more stern and serious than I am.
The role of Wolfgang is brought to life by the talents of stage, screen, and television legend Ephraim Zimbalist Jr.
We must locate the tribe's original African homeland. Her remains might be there, or they might be in New Orleans,
okay, so
buried among her
that was the man who left
His
a message
performance
for
on
us
Gabriel Knight
to call him in
adds
Germany.
interactive entertainment to his resume that covers more than 50 years in all facets of the entertainment business.
This is different in that you don't know anything. I mean, you come in and you read a bunch of choices, and you don't know which is the right one or which is the wrong one. False leads, true leads, and so forth. So it's a multiple choice performance based on a significant lack of knowledge, I think.
Gabriel Knight defines a new chapter in the evolution of computer games. The CD-ROM provides the storage capacity required to bring you this artful mixture of industry-leading interactive game design, state-of-the-art computer technology, and award-winning Hollywood performances.
This is very entertaining. I mean, the storyline itself is sophisticated. It's the kind of story you would see in a feature film or on cable television rather than network television. And the fact that I mean, for the most part, people slip the cassette in, they push a button, and that's the end of their job. And I think this is a challenge to people. And, you know, with cable channels, with all the satellite television, everything that you have competing for people's attention, I think this has a real chance to be groundbreaking in its own way. I'd love to see it happen. I'd really love to see it happen.
That hasn't happened yet.
For me, it's an actor's dream come true.
First of all, it's clearly the next step on from video in that you're absolutely involved in the process. So you influence the outcome of the plot. You take the movie where you want to take it. What's really best about it, it seems to me, is that you can sit in your own home and make your own movie. It's pretty cool to me.
The convergence of Hollywood's talent with the award-winning
Who the hell is
story-based
that?
game development skills at Sierra opens the door on an exciting new future for interactive entertainment. Jane Jensen's Gabriel Knight, Sins of the Fathers represents a bold step down this future path.
The interesting thing about interactive fiction is there is a plot that continues through the game, but also because it's interactive and because the player is exploring at their leisure, you can put in all kinds of side trips that may be just about character or just about some interesting point of history or just about the universe that you're in that don't necessarily progress the story. And I think that makes interactive fiction potentially a much richer form of entertainment.
Interactive fiction integrates the best attributes of films, novels, stage, and television. But it's an exciting new entertainment experience, giving you the unique opportunity to actively participate in the story.
It really rolls up all of those forms, the dramatic forms, reading, all of it, all together in one ball of wax. And I think this is going to be the new thing. I think this is going to be the thing of tomorrow. And though it's young today, wait till it matures. Wow.
Now it's your turn. Take a journey you will never forget into the world of Gabriel Knight.
Interesting. Well, that explained why all those voices sound so familiar to me. I guess that's it. Yeah, okay, that's it. Well, very interesting, to say the least. Let's see if we can get it to boot now. Yes, that was a gaming documentary for the game that I'm playing today. Just trying to get it to boot now. Taking its sweet old time. There it goes. Let's see, restore, and we were in the Voodoo shop. Let's see, I need to speak with you, I would assume.
Hi there. Is this your store?
This is a Dixieland drugstore, and I own it, me. Name's Walker, Willie Walker.
So, this is a voodoo...
Voodoo? No, man, this is a curio shop.
Mm.
Things you see here are from local folklore. None of it's real, I tell you for sure.
Yeah, about that.
What about these magic oils and powders you're selling? Aren't they a part of voodoo?
Read the label, man. We make no claim. Sold as curio only. It means what it says, no? These are novelties, not voodoo.
Hmm.
So does any of this stuff actually work?
Are you crazy, man? These are just curios, novelties for the tourists.
Nice weather we're having.
Don't bother me. Can't you see I'm busy? St. John's Eve is coming, and I got to be ready.
St. John's Eve? What is St. John's Eve? What is that?
So does any of... Mind if I ask you a few questions?
Ask what you want. I'll answer what I want.
Okay. Tell me about voodoo.
Can you tell me what...
This is a novelty shop, monsieur.
Figured as much.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
Cabri Sancour.
What did you say?
I've heard that before.
Nothing. Those killings have nothing to do with my shop, monsieur.
Hold on. Cabri Sancour. San without. Well, sans, I guess, means without. Cabri. Goat. Core is horn. Goat without horns. Human. You mean human?
What do you know...
Monsieur.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
I've lived here all my life, me.
Why would you say Cabri Sancour when I mentioned the voodoo murders? That's very on the nose, don't you think?
Do you know anything about snakes?
What kind of snakes?
The kind they use in voodoo?
Pythons and boas. So I've heard.
Really? Do you have one?
Are you crazy? What would I want with a python?
I don't know. To keep it as a pet?
What did you mean when you said Cabri Sancour?
I didn't say that.
Oh, now you're playing dumb.
I heard you say it.
You heard wrong, monsieur.
You don't.
I said no such thing.
You don't say goat without horns without explaining yourself. That's a bit much.
Do you know...
No, don't talk about snakes. Talk about this again.
What did you mean? I didn't...
You're just going to keep playing dumb.
Tell me about yourself.
My name's Willie Walker. I own the place.
Tell me about yourself. How did you get into this kind of business?
Why should I discuss my business with you, man?
Tell me about yourself. How did you get into this?
Why should I...
Okay.
That customer of yours, the little old lady.
Customer?
The woman I saw in here.
You're just going to keep playing dumb.
You called her.
I don't talk about my customers to men who come in off the street.
Okay. You're clearly hiding something.
The sign say, Special Saint Jean Eve, Lagnape, free bottle of lover come back to me oil, or master gambling oil, with every purchase over $50.
Lagnape.
I don't have $50.
My French is lousy, But everyone in New Orleans knows what that means. A little something extra.
Okay.
The glass jars contain a number of things Gabriel can't identify.
And
The sign says power items. The sign says potion ingredients. These jars must be for do-it-yourselfers. A variety of cloth dolls are arranged above the shelf.
I'm curious about this.
Each impaled with a single silver pin. The mask appears to be made from a real crocodile head.
Okay. I like all kinds of games. I especially like adventure games.
Voodoo and hoodoo. The craft as revealed by traditional practitioners by Jim Haskins. Available at Dixieland Drugstore and other fine stores.
I don't think I'm going to get much out of this man. He's way too shut with his words. He mentioned Cabrice Encore, which means goat without horns. And we know it has involving voodoo and all this stuff, so it's probably something about a human sacrifice, but of course he just doesn't want to say anything. Let's see, I never figured out what to do here, but I'm probably missing something involving the bookstore. Because there were some books that were in German. I can probably figure out more.
Hello, beautiful. It's me.
The excitement of seeing you is killing me.
Did I ever get any messages, actually? Let's see.
Keep 'em busy?
Not really. If you need any research done, let me know.
Well, Gabriel doesn't know what Cabrice Encore means.
Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
So maybe she could say something about it. Oh.
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
St. John's Eve? Never heard of it. It must be a local custom. New Orleans love any excuse to celebrate.
That's true.
Do you know what Cabrice Encore means?
No. Sounds French, though.
Could you do some research for me?
Sure. What?
I need you to look up a Madame Cazeneuve.
Madame Cazeneuve? Is she related to the murders the same way your friend, Malia Getty, was?
Grace, Cazeneuve's at least 70.
As if that makes a difference to you. Okay, I'll see what I can find. Anything else?
So damn catty.
Okay.
I love Grace. The back and forth is so good. Let's see, there is books on German somewhere.
The top shelf contains a set of German books that once belonged to Gabriel's grandfather. The books cannot be operated.
Oh, then grab one.
Grace would have a...
Oh, gods, come on. Grab a book.
Gabriel selects a volume of German poetry that he always found strangely compelling.
Drei Drachen. Drei Drachen kriechen in meinen Schlaf. Die Ziele wollen sie lebendig zum Fraß. Feurigen Atems, gespaltener Zunge, genießen sie jedes Mal.
That's nice. Kinda creepy, though. Who's the author?
Heinz Ritter. I'm not sure what it says, but I get the feeling the guy was one sick puppy.
You get a point for that. Okay, what does it mean? Can you tell her to look it up?
Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
No.
Could you do...
Sure.
No. You can't tell her to research it.
The top shelf
animals.
That shelf contains historical references, biographies of kings and queens. That shelf, they just leap. That shelf, they just... they just... Under the window are reference books, dictionaries, foreign language dictionaries, quotation books, and others. Gabriel borrows them often when
That's
he's
probably
writing.
what I need then to translate what this was.
Gabriel leafs through a German-English dictionary.
Let's see, Mittag means midday, noon.
Mittag.
Gabriel...
Spiel means game. Interesting.
Game.
Gabriel...
Himmel means heaven.
Okay.
Gabriel...
Dry means 3.
So dry draken, 3 dragons.
Gabriel...
Besessen means possessed. Drachen means dragons. I wonder if Mosley would know he was being insulted if I called him Drachenbreath.
Gabriel...
Let's see,
And you're just going to loop it. So hold on.
Gabriel selects a volume of German poetry that he always found strangely compelling.
Drei Drachen.
3 dragons.
3 Drachen kriechen in meinen Schlaf.
Whatever that means.
Die Ziele wollen sie lebendig zum Fraß. Feurigen Atems, gespaltener Zunge, genießen sie jedes Mal.
Three dragons. 3 dragons.
I'm out of here. Try not to sell out the store while I'm gone.
Uh-huh.
The only thing I can think of that mentioned dragons was the grandmother's house. There was the clock that had the different images on it. And one of them was a dragon, I believe.
Gabriel, come in.
Hi, Gran.
Make yourself at home, son.
Gonna go upstairs.
I'm going up the attic again.
Enjoy yourself, dear.
Was there anything else in here?
That box, it's an old... some old...
Aren't those...
serious...
Just...
and a bun... Gabriel has...
It's Granddaddy's old golf bag.
Let's see. I think it's this button to operate. Push. No, that's push. Didn't mean to do that.
A ring of 6 symbols surround the face of the clock. A sword, a sun, an angel, a noose, an eclipse, and
a dragon.
A dragon. Gabriel does...
No, not that. Operate.
The ring of symbols does not appear to have any...
But it does move. Maybe move the dragon to the top. Like that.
It's the minute hand. It's the minute... It's the... The face...
Okay, but can you move the clock hands?
The hands do not appear to have any mechanical function other than to move.
Okay. Move it. Ooh. 3? For 3 dragons? Come on. Stay at 3, damn it. You keep moving on your own. I'm not even doing that. For fuck's sake. Okay. I know this moves.
Granddaddy, you old fox.
Oh shit, okay, I did it. Oh, what is this? And there's more.
Gabriel doesn't...
Hold on, what did I pick up?
Those 2 objects...
No, I'm not trying to do that. I want to look.
The letter is addressed to Heinz Ritter, whoever that is.
You're not going to read it?
The letter is written in German, but Gabriel determines what he can about it. It was sent from a place called Schloss Ritter in Rittersberg, West Germany. The letter is addressed to mein Sohn Heinz and signed Wilhelm Ritter. One of the recurring words strewn throughout the letter is the word Schattenjäger. The only thing that Gabriel can decipher about the letter is a sense of urgency in the handwriting and in the heavy use of quill-tip bold strokes and underlining.
Shadow hunter. Jäger means hunter. I'm pretty sure Schatten means shadow. Okay.
The old photographs show Gabriel's grandfather with 2 other men that Gabriel has not identified. The old...
Okay. It doesn't really help much. There has to be something more here.
That box of...
Can you look through the box?
Gabriel cannot...
Is this the button to look
Gabriel's
through? No. What about you?
There's nothing I want in there.
And there's something right here next to it, though. What is that?
There's a sketchbook on the chair that
Oh,
Gabriel
a sketchbook!
vaguely
That's what I
remembers
need.
as his father.
Okay, hold on. Let me grab the sketchbook.
I think I'd take Daddy's sketchbook with me.
And I can use that to mark off the other pattern that I found. Oh, let's leave here. I need to go back to the scene.
Well, Gran, I better get going.
All right, dear.
It's a crime scene. And then I can use the notebook, which is you, on the pattern.
Let me try to get this down.
Hell yes. So now I have the pattern here. Can I combine the two?
Those 2 objects would have no effect.
What do I do with this, though? I still can't enter Getty's estate without having something to show. I haven't been to the museum yet, so I guess I'll check this next.
Welcome, my friend.
Ah, okay.
Hello.
That's Dr.
I
John.
am the proprietor, Dr. John.
Okay.
If you have any
I could hear
questions,
Wolf's
I will be
voice.
happy to assist.
Great. My name is Knight, and I'll probably take you up on that.
What do we have? Book.
Reminds me of a book critic for the New York Times. He's got more hair than Mosley.
On the table is a small coffin. So small, in fact, that it would only fit an infant.
Charming.
And another drum man.
A street drummer has settled outside the museum.
Oh, there's a snake.
A very large, very formidable-looking snake is secured in a plexiglass cage.
I need to compare this snake scale I have to another snake, but that's the only one that is, and it's in a cage.
An official voodoo wish and stump. Rub it and make a wish, a card says.
Funny, I say the same thing to women.
Okay, keep it in your pants.
A wooden doll with horns is on the back table.
Looks like Jack Nicholson.
The back wall displays various voodoo items, such as an artist's rendering of the voodoo dances in Congo Square in the early 1800s. The back wall, a bandana that was once worn by a voodoo queen.
Nice bloodstains.
Is that a curved knife?
Something about the shape of that knife gives Gabriel the creeps.
They did say that there was a curved knife that was used to make the incision to remove the heart of the victims.
The Historical Voodoo Museum is brimming with items authentic and original. A striking portrait of a turbaned woman is on the back wall. Gabriel wonders who she might be. An authentic-looking pole marks the center of the room. Authentic what? Gabriel isn't sure.
It's a totem.
Dr. John is a huge man. If his manner weren't so pleasant, he'd be intimidating.
Okay, I guess we just speak with him then.
This is quite a place you have here.
Thank you, Mr. Knight. I have dedicated myself to the preservation of this unique culture. It is gratifying to see others reap the fruits I have sown.
So where'd you pick up all this stuff?
Oh, here and there. We accept donations of any pertinent items.
Did you ever get any wackos in here?
You mean besides yourself?
Yeah. Besides me.
I do not care to make those kind of judgments, Mr. Knight. All are welcome here.
You're a big guy, aren't you? Do you work out? Play sports?
I do not play basketball, if that is what you want to know.
Who, me? No. You just look like such a natural athlete.
I do find ways of keeping fit, Mr. Knight. After all, our bodies are temples.
You sound like Grace. I should get the two of you together.
Is Grace your wife?
No, she just acts like it. So what do you think about summer weather? Have you ever seen it so overcast or so muggy?
It is unpleasant. The heavens are not pleased these days.
Nice.
I prefer simple cotton to dead flesh, Mr. Knight.
I'll have to remember that. Could I ask you some questions?
That is why I am here.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Historical voodoo? Or the voodoo currently practiced in the city?
Okay.
What do you know about the Voodoo murders?
The killings in the newspaper? I know that they have nothing to do with true voodoo in New Orleans. Voodoo is a popular boogeyman, Mr. Knight, especially in New Orleans. Anyone can pretend to use it, just as anyone can pretend to be a black belt in karate, and for the same reason, to intimidate. I know voodoo in this city, Mr. Knight, and believe me, it is not about killing. Even the police have stated that the killings have nothing to do with local voodoo.
So, you know nothing?
I neither know nor care to know, Mr. Knight. My only possible interest is in how it might affect the public's attitude towards the museum.
Makes
so
sense.
far, it has not been an issue. No one has even had the bad taste to bring it up. Until you, that is.
What do you think of New Orleans?
It is the only city in the United States as far as I am concerned.
What is it about New Orleans that you so admire?
It has a real culture of its own, Mr. Knight, amid the horrid blandness that is Americana. New Orleans alone has a voice.
Spoken like a true New Orleanian. Do you know anything about snakes?
Ah, you have perhaps noticed the museum's snake, Mr. Knight. They are beautiful creatures, do you not agree? And the tourists seem to associate them with voodoo.
Okay, but can I look at your snake? Wait. Don't take that out of context. But at the same time, I do want to see that snake.
Is the snake yours? Do you use it in your practice of voodoo?
I admire the spirit of the snake, Mr. Knight, but snakes like the museums can be quite dangerous to handle.
You didn't really answer my question.
I think I did, Mr. Knight.
Not really.
I'd really like...
There is really nothing...
Do you have anything...
I have...
So...
I neither know so far...
What?
Historical...
Okay.
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
It is one of the important ceremonial nights in voodoo.
Okay. Are you gonna expand on that?
What else can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
I am afraid I do not know the origins of St. John's Eve. I only know that it was a night of ritual long before voodoo came to New Orleans.
Okay.
What else can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
I am
Do you have any idea what Cabri Saint-Gar means?
I fear my French is not all it should be, Mr. Knight.
The way he said that makes it seem like he knows what that means.
You're sure you haven't heard the term?
I am...
Have you ever heard of a Schottenjäger?
No, I have not.
Tell me about yourself.
Me?
Yes, if you don't mind.
What is it you wish to learn?
Why did you open a voodoo museum?
The subject has fascinated me all my life, and I wanted to help preserve the cultural heritage it represents.
What kind of background in voodoo do you have?
Let us say that I cut my teeth on it, Mr. Knight. It is in my blood.
Do you do anything besides run the museum?
No. The museum does not make me a rich man, but my material needs are simple. I prefer to focus on my one true interest in life.
What are your own religious beliefs?
My beliefs are too personal and too complex to discuss with a layman, Mr. Knight.
Just tell me anything.
I am originally from the West Indies myself, you know.
Really? What brought you to New Orleans?
I was drawn here for personal reasons.
Can you expand on that?
Just tell...
I am a vegetarian.
Really? I can't imagine living without meat.
That must be the hunter in you, Mr. Knight.
Just...
I do not care. I am not an easy person to get to know. I am a very private man.
Isn't that unusual for someone in the museum business?
Not at all. My displays speak for me.
I could take that in many different ways, sir.
Just tell me.
Not everyone can come see the museum, so I occasionally do public speaking on the subject of historical voodoo.
Anything coming up that I might attend?
No. But then, you have me all to yourself right now, do you not?
Just...
I am a
Actually,
Then...
Tell me about historical voodoo.
Very well. I will start at the beginning, Mr. Knight, and will go on from there at your prompting.
Sounds good.
As you may know, Voodoo is a grassroots religion formed by the mixing together of many different African tribal religions and Anglo religions, such as Catholicism or Protestantism. In other words, it is a religion born of the African slave trade, but African slaves were imported not only by the United States, but also into the West Indies, where the French and Spanish ran plantation islands.
Wait, what?
Prior to 1803, the New Orleans area was owned by France. The French Creole in those days owned many African slaves, but the Creole did not permit their slaves to gather, giving no chance for voodoo to breed here natively.
The Creole also knew enough about the corrupted pagan practices of the West Indies slaves to ban the importing of slaves from that region.
Oh. Pagan, you say? That actually... There's a lot to say about that, actually, especially when it comes to Tarascon, because in Tarascon, it was very much a slave area. Like, they had slaves that were used for their fields. I never learned much about it, though, like where they came from or anything like that, but this is very equivalent, I guess you could say.
So, how did...
After the Louisiana Purchase, American legislators relaxed regulations. Slaves were permitted to gather. The Americans also removed the ban on West Indies slaves.
Around the same time, a slave revolt occurred in Santo Domingo, what is now Haiti. Between the lifting of the ban and the Haitian revolt, West Indies slaves began pouring into New Orleans.
Some of them were free people of color, freed or escaped slaves. Some came with their white owners who were fleeing from the revolt.
What happened when the West Indies slaves got here?
They brought voodoo with them. The native slaves were more than enthusiastic about embracing it. It gave them power, Mr. Knight, if only in the form of a communal bond. Among the first meeting places were the Bayou St. John and the shore of Lake Pontchartrain. The early Voodoos were heavy snake worshippers, worshipping the one they called the Great Zombie.
Wait, what? Okay. Hold on. So, two things to glean from that. The first one is the shores of Lake Pontchartrain, which is where the scene of the crime happened. And then the other one is a bit more personal. So in Tarascon, there is a... I don't know how else to say it. There's an undead creature, a zombie, that basically is the first of the... oh gosh, what's the word that I'm trying to think of? The first of the kind to be pulled into the realms of dread, which... silly name. His name was Chickenbow. He's an undead zombie, but he would practice voodoo as well. So, you know, great zombie, And I'm just thinking of him now. That's
Tell me more about historical...
on the nose, it feels like.
By 1817, the voodoo activities were beginning to cause fear among the white slave owners. An ordinance was passed to forbid slave gatherings except in designated public areas at designated times. The time was Sunday afternoons and the place, Congo Square. The slaves and free people of color gathered to dance simulations of their voodoo dances right in sight of Creole society. Of course, they also continued to meet in private for the real thing.
Okay.
Tell me more about historical voodoo.
There were a variety of kings and queens at first, voodoo priests and priestesses. But from about 1830, a single power emerged. This was a voodoo queen named Marie Laveau. Marie Laveau ruled voodoo in New Orleans for many years.
Tell me more about historical voodoo.
I've given you as much detail as...
Tell me more about Marie Laveau.
There were actually two Marie Laveaux, mother and daughter. Most people thought they were the same woman. Her continued youth added to the mystique. The original, the mother, was also known as Widow Paris. It was she that began the empire. When the Widow Paris began to practice, there were many voodooans in the city. By 1830, she was voodoo queen of all New Orleans.
Okay.
Tell me more about Marie Laveau.
The Widow Paris was a hairdresser for rich Creole ladies. She also paid household servants to spy for her. Between the two, she knew everything about everyone who mattered in New Orleans. She was not above using her information to appear psychic, to intimidate, or even to blackmail.
You sound as though you admire her.
For a black woman in the mid-1800s to gain power is an incredible thing, Mr. Knight. However she achieved it.
I mean, okay, I agree with that.
Tell me more about Marie Laveau.
She kept a pet snake, danced with it too. She held traditional voodoo ceremonies out by the lake. She took herself seriously, very seriously. But she was not above selling tickets for her events to curiosity seekers. She was not above using voodoo any way she could to make money. That is for certain. But if she had been in another line of work, in another age, that would have been interpreted as entrepreneurial genius rather than a sign of fraudulence.
Hey, you don't need to convince me. I admire anyone that can actually make a living. Tell me...
It was Marie Laveau who defined the voodoo that is truly and uniquely the voodoo of New Orleans. She invented hundreds, if not thousands of spells, potions, charms, and incantations. These form the basis of the modern practice, not to mention the folk tradition of hoodoo.
Wait, what the fuck is hoodoo? I thought voodoo was a thing. What's hoodoo?
Tell me more.
Her daughter, Marie Glapion, took over when the Widow Paris got old. Most people thought it was the same Marie Laveau. Both Maries encouraged that point of view. The Widow Paris died in 1881. Marie Glapion had been reigning a long time by then. After the death of the Widow Paris, other voodoo queens surfaced, and by 1890, the cult was fragmented again. Marie Glapion just sort of faded away.
Okay.
Tell me...
The Laveau tomb, where one or both of the Maries are believed to be buried, is in St. Louis Cemetery No. 1. It is a popular shrine for practitioners and tourists alike. I myself take tours through the cemetery on a regular basis.
Really? Do you have any running this week?
No. But the cemetery is open to the general public as well.
Tell me about current voodoo.
Many people think of voodoo in terms of magic spells or gree-gree. That kind of practice is actually called hoodoo.
Okay.
And is only a part of true voodoo.
Okay.
Voodoo, the religion, has a strong following in New Orleans. In fact, it is growing quite rapidly. There are several voodoo churches or temples in the city, and others all across the United States. African Americans see it as a tradition all their own. Whites, and there are many in their religion, are attracted to it because they think it is exotic. I, personally, am more interested in the history of voodoo. Some of the new movements are copying Haitian or even African voodoo. But it is the voodoo of New Orleans that I find so intriguing.
Okay, so voodoo in the past was voodoo. Voodoo in the current form is hoodoo, which is like the gree-gree, like he mentioned, and the potions and the like.
Tell me more about...
There are many voodooians in New Orleans. They often do business selling gree-gree, telling fortunes, providing luck, and, occasionally, misfortune. Perhaps you would like to meet a voodooan. We refer those who seek a deeper experience with voodoo to a local practitioner, Magentia Moonbeam.
Sure, I'd love to meet her.
She lives on the corner of Orleans and Dauphine.
Okay.
I will call her and tell her you might stop by.
Great.
Useful.
Thanks.
Very useful.
Tell me more.
You have tapped my...
Is there anything else I should know about hoodoo?
Not if your interest is primarily in voodoo. Hoodoo is of interest to those who study rural folk traditions, but it will not aid you in understanding true voodoo.
But it might be useful because if the murders are involving that stuff currently...
Not if you're...
That's all you have to say. Doesn't seem to really be anything else here. You can't... Unless you can look at the snake?
A very...
No. Can we leave?
The doorway is already...
Well then walk through the damn door.
I'll be going.
Goodbye, Mr. Knight.
Welcome, Seeker. You must be the one Dr. John called me about.
I guess so. My name is...
Wait? Gabriel Knight?
You're too quick for me.
I think that's a shedded snake skin in that cage.
Actually, Dr. John told me. You have come to the right place, Mr. Knight. Tell me how I can help.
In a moment, actually. Let me look.
A large, sluggish snake rests on the floor of the fancy bird cage. Apparently, Magenta is not a fastidious housekeeper. A shed skin shares the cage with its original owner.
Can you take it?
Magenta's snakes looks a little sickly, but Gabriel would still rather not stick his hand in the cage.
Okay, we'll just talk for now.
Dr. John tells me you're a voodoo practitioner of some kind.
Yes, I am a voodooian, a voodoo priestess.
Do you get many people in here on an average day?
Some days the need for my power is greater than others. But I have many regular clients who would be lost without my vision, Mr. Knight.
I can imagine. That's a great-looking mask on the wall.
It's from Africa, a gift to me from Queen Tabitha.
Do you know Dr. John well?
Oh, yes. We are old friends. Those with gifts are often drawn together.
So, let's say I came to you wanting to attract a woman. What would you advise?
Oh, I wouldn't think you'd have any trouble attracting women, Mr. Knight.
No. I guess I don't. Could I ask you a few questions?
Of course, Seeker.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
My practice is mainly selling charms and potions with magic power, such as gree-gree and voodoo oil.
So hoodoo.
You know, everything from unrequited love to wandering spouses to winning a lawsuit.
Yeah, you're practicing
but my
hoodoo,
spells and
not
charms
voodoo.
are powerful, and they work.
What?
Much of a voodoo yen's work is protecting her clients from the spell of others. I make special protective gree-gree to be worn in secret. They keep evil spells from working against my clients.
What can you...
The recipes for voodoo charms have been handed down from master to apprentice for centuries.
What?
I have told you all.
What do you know?
Why, that has nothing to do with me and my clientele. But I can tell you that you should stay as far from it as possible. There is badness there. Very bad. Fake? Let me tell you about fake. If I get information through the grapevine and make use of it, is that fake? No. That is part of a voodoo yen's power. If people don't believe, there is not much I can do. But if they do believe, that is a part of my power too. But there are things, monsieur, things not even a little bit fake, I can tell you. Believe it or not, but stay away from it.
So she's saying that some of the voodoo murder stuff is real.
I work hard on fine-tuning my spiritual antenna, Monsieur Knight, and I get a clear signal from that direction. Beware.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
New Orleans is the center of voodoo practice in the United States.
That's all you have to say.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
It is a fascinating city with many dark secrets.
Come on.
What can you...
It is my favorite.
You're useless.
Do you know anything about snakes?
Snakes? You mean like my beloved Grimwald? She's a python, you know. Quite deadly in the wrong hands. I was trained by one of the great voodoo queens to learn how to hypnotize and handle snakes.
Tell me more.
Oh, I wouldn't want to give away my trade secrets.
What's the significance of St. John's Eve?
St. John's Eve? It is the greatest night of the voodoo year. There is always a traditional conclave on St. John's Eve. Most of our voodoo churches these days hold functions in the church hall. But in the old days, they had ceremonies out in the wild, and they wore animal masks and had a huge bonfire and dancing. I used to go when I was an apprentice. Sometimes in the swamp, you know. Bayou St. John. Sometimes at the lake, Lake Pontchartrain.
Animal masks. So I could probably do something maybe with the animal mask back at the shop.
What's...
Special ceremonies are performed, and the Loa come to ride the faithful.
I know of Loa.
What's...
There is no night.
Do you have any idea what Caprice sans cœur means?
No. No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
Do you have any idea? Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
Oh, yes. She was the first of the great voodoo queens.
That's all you have to say.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
She ruled voodoo in New Orleans for 100 years, they say.
Do you know anything?
I'm sure a historian.
Tell me about the animal masks.
I saw them used once or twice when I was younger, but you don't see them much anymore. They're too close.
Too close to what?
Just bad karma.
Tell me about the...
I don't know what else.
Have you ever heard the word Schottenjäger?
I don't know anything about that.
Tell me about yourself.
Yes? What would you like to hear?
How'd you get into this business?
I trained in the voodoo arts for many years with the great Queen Tabitha.
Really? Who's she?
You have never heard of her? For shame! I can see you know little of the world of magic.
I'm beginning to get that impression, yes. What kind of people come to see you?
Seekers after the truth, such as yourself.
Do you do anything else?
I am a voodoo yen, and that is plenty. It takes much spiritual effort.
How many voodoo yens are there?
No one knows exactly. Many practice in secret. There are probably hundreds. But of course the level and the power of the voodoo yens differ greatly, depending on their training and natural gifts.
Tell me anything at all.
I haven't always lived in New Orleans. I came here from Kansas as a young woman.
Tell me.
I began studying voodoo more than 20 years ago. I am well versed in the magical art.
Tell me.
Many non-believers come to me. They are usually believers when they leave.
Tell me anything.
Dr. John sends me many seekers such as yourself.
Tell.
I am happy here.
Give me something useful.
At all.
I haven't always lived in New Orleans.
Okay.
I can't.
There.
About Grimwald.
What about her?
Where'd you get Grimwald?
She belonged to a traveling reptile show. She was being terribly mistreated, so I offered to buy her. She's named after a spirit guide I had once. The spirit Grimwald was a very powerful female snake priestess in Egyptian times.
Grimwald doesn't sound Egyptian.
I only know what the spirits tell me. Monsieur, I am sure they know better than we.
How'd you learn to handle Grimwald?
I told you a great voodoo queen taught me. She learned from Marie Laveau herself.
Ah, fascinating. Would you consider giving me one of Grimwald's scales?
No, I couldn't do that. You might do some gree-gree of your own, no? One must be very careful with such things. Hair clippings, nail parings, and snake scale.
Okay.
How about showing me how you handle Grimwald?
Really? You would like to see me dance, perhaps?
That would be swell.
I want you to get the snake out the cage so I can grab that dead skin. If I can grab the dead skin.
No matter what you see, do not be frightened.
I'll give it my best shot.
I can't do anything. Oh, here we go. I can do something. Oh, grab this snake skin. Now I can use that to compare with the snake scale
Gabriel
I have.
grabs the shed snake skin while Magenta is otherwise occupied.
They are truly inspiring, isn't it?
That's certainly one word for it. Could I?
Certain. What about?
Tell me.
You have to be careful when handling a snake. They're more delicate than they look.
I'll bet. Tell.
Many people are afraid of snakes. Isn't that silly?
Totally. Tell me anything at all.
Snakes shed their skins from time to time. You have to be especially careful of them when they're shedding.
I'll keep it in mind. Tell.
Grimwald is very responsive to vibration. She doesn't recognize her name, but if I stomp 3 times, she looks right at me.
Tell me anything at all.
You have to be careful when
I'll...
Okay.
Nothing.
Oh.
Give me an example of a gris-gris.
All right. Here's an old one. Take a lodestone and some brimstone to a crossroads at midnight. Light the brimstone with a match, and a spirit will come and give you advice in gambling.
Give me an example of a gris-gris.
Here's an old hoodoo Dr. Gree-Gree. Place a dime under your client's tongue, and if the client is under a spell of any kind, the dime will turn black.
Give me an example of a gris-gris.
To send someone away, take a rotten egg and write that person's name on it 9 times. You can also write on it where you want to send that person to. Take it and throw it against his door at midnight.
Give me an example of a gris-gris.
Here's a nasty one. To kill someone, get a sock or a shoe that belongs to that person. Put graveyard dirt in it and bury it under their front steps.
Does that work?
I don't know. I never tried it.
Give me an...
To ensure the safety of your child, cut a lock of its hair while it is still a baby and keep it with you. The child must have all its hair before it can die.
These are interesting.
They're very old. The gree-gree that I prepare is much more powerful, I can assure you, but I don't give out those secrets.
Give me
a... All right.
Okay, you don't have anything else to say. Is there anything else in this room that could be useful?
A large crystal. It's not. It's not. It's not.
The only thing useful was that snake skin. Can I look at the snake skin using the magnifying glass?
Gabriel magnifies the shed skin from Magentia, Moonbeam's snake. The snake scales are hued brown. They don't match the scale from Lake Pontchartrain.
Okay, so it's not the same snake.
It's the...
Okay, there's nothing else here then.
Well, I guess I'll be gone now.
Open your mind and heart, and the way will be clear to you.
I'll give it my best shot.
Okay. Is there anything new here? No, there's nothing here. I mean, I guess I can do a confession.
The panel behind the mesh window moves from the other side.
May I help you, my child?
I'd like to make a confession.
All right, if it will make you feel better.
I've done some pretty rotten things to my friend Mosley.
Rotten? What do you mean?
Practical jokes, insults, among other things.
I see. Are you sorry?
Well...
Pray for forgiveness and say 3 rosaries. Is there anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Goodbye, then. Peace go with you.
Gabriel, that does... The panel behind... The confessional is empty, And there does not seem to be a priest behind the window right now.
Oh, he's gone. Wait, can I go in there?
Gabriel cannot go in there. That's the...
Okay, never mind. I thought he was gone. Wait a minute, what is that?
There's a knothole about the size of a...
May I help you, my child?
Oh, I was looking at that.
Can I? The confessional is not the best place for interviews, son. You can contact the Is there...
Could you give me a blessing?
Do you feel the need for a blessing, son?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
All right, if it will comfort you.
The priest blesses Gabriel through the confessional window.
Peace be with you, son.
Thank you, Father.
Okay, what was this?
There's a knothole about the size of a quarter in the wood paneling on that wall.
So there's a hole in the wall. And you can't peer through it unless you can do this.
Gabriel cannot...
Never mind. I wonder what I need to do next, though. I'm a bit stuck. We have the patterns from the Voodoo murders, including the most recent one. I wonder if I can make note of the markings that were on the wall here at the cemetery. No, what are you doing? Look. And then...
I want a copy of these strange marks.
That's all I can think of.
This is the tomb of Marie Laveau.
Oh.
Voodoo Queen of New Orleans.
Oh.
Odd-looking marks adorn the Laveau tomb wall.
Okay, and with what we know of Marie Laveau, that's actually quite significant. There doesn't really seem to be much else, though. Let me see here. Can you combine these?
Those two objects...
Can't combine them.
Those two...
Hey, come back here. Hey!
Oh, wait. Hold on, would you?
Oh, unbelievable. Rotten luck.
Okay. Well, he doesn't seem to be busy anymore, but we could probably somehow grab that paper that he was working on and give that to him, and as a payment maybe have him write out the patterns that we have. Just need to figure out how to reach it.
Gabriel can't reach the drawing from where he is.
Do I have anything that can reach it? Tweezers? Do I have to use tweezers?
Using that...
Yeah, figured. Yeah, I don't really have anything.
There's her drawing caught up against the hedges.
Hey kid, you're small, you can probably reach it.
You dance pretty well for a kid.
Give me some money, Dan.
I don't have any.
Don't block the view, mister.
Hmm.
Do you do requests?
Got any money?
No.
Something to eat?
No.
There you have it. No.
Could I get a lucky dog, please?
Not now, I'm busy.
An unambitious.
Hello.
The vendor.
Yep,
Why?
'cause A.
Oh.
Oh, hell. What else can I do? I can probably pay off the kids somehow. I mean, I could probably take from the till at the shop and get money that way.
Hello, beautiful. It's me.
I wish you wouldn't wear that coat outside in June. I could smell you from here.
Keep 'em busy?
Not really. If you...
Okay.
There's no one...
Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
Are you sure you don't know what Caprice on... Could you do...
Sure.
Damn it.
I can't think of...
Okay.
Do you have...
Nope.
Well... That was very useful.
Wishful thinking. Gabriel would love to... Gabriel checks the drawer again, just in case life as we know it changed significantly since he last looked.
Gabriel, that's all the change money I have. Touch it, and you can kiss your hand goodbye.
Would I do that to you?
But I need...
Gabriel...
money.
Would I do that?
I need money to be able to do anything. There must be another way then. What should I do?
I'll be back later.
Don't hurry back on my account.
What the hell do I do here? Maybe I could talk to Mosley again?
Mostly my man.
Yeah, what is it, you wanker?
Anything?
Just work.
Can I? You?
Do you have... Hell no. Is that French? My mother spoke it, but I always had a hard enough time just speaking English.
True enough. Do you know...
Animal masks? You mean like those Halloween masks they sometimes use in robberies?
I don't think so. More like real animals.
Never ran across anything like that.
There has to be something I can do here. If I remember right, yesterday there was a mention of his police badge hanging on his jacket. If I can figure out a way to change something here to force him to take off his jacket, we could probably do something.
Mosley's office looks at art print.
I'm gonna hit the road.
What is that? That looks a bit standing out.
There's a temperature gauge on the wall near Mosley's office. The security cage has been removed by the electrician.
Ah, here we go. Okay, so I operate you. Turn you up to max. And now...
Whew, it's hot in here. Dang, the air conditioning must be on the blink.
You're not letting me do anything.
Man, I'm hot.
There you go, you don't need the jacket. Hey Mosley, go get me some coffee, bud.
Can I ask you about your... How about... Hey,
yeah. Some people are never satisfied.
Yes, okay, take.
I think I'll just borrow this badge.
Hey, what are you doing with my coat?
Nothing. I thought I saw something crawling on it.
So I have a police badge.
Just drink this.
I can probably use that to enter
Thanks.
Getty's
Tons.
residence.
I mean it.
I'll just have to look the part. Or do I? Maybe I can just walk in with just the badge alone.
This
Let's see if this works. Hopefully it does. Let's see. Operate the knocker.
May I help you? I'd like to see Malia Getty, please. I'm sorry, but unless you have an appointment or official business, I cannot announce you. I do have official business. Really? Please tell me the nature of your business. My name is Detective Mosley. I'm here on police business. Really? How interesting. Wait here. I'll inform Miss Getty. Miss Getty will see you.
Oh shit, it worked.
Right this way. Miss Getty will be down shortly.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very interesting room.
What can I do for you, Detective?
Oh, right. So,
This is quite a place.
Thank you. It's been in the family a long time.
Done anything exciting lately?
I'm sorry, but I'm very busy. Can we get to the point?
right. So,
Mind if I ask you a few questions, Miss Getty?
I assume that's what you're here for, Detective.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Voodoo? Why would you want to know about that, Detective? It's rather silly, isn't it?
There's nothing silly about the voodoo murders.
But that voodoo is faked. That's what I've read in the papers.
That's what the papers say, all right.
But you're not convinced?
No, frankly, I'm not. The police department isn't known for its imagination.
Oh. Well, I can see that your imagination is considerable.
Are you sure you...
I really don't know. Isn't there some place in town that you can find out about that sort of thing? A museum or something?
I believe there is a museum.
Then maybe you should check there.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
The murders? Only what I read in the papers.
And what do you read in the papers?
I'm sure you know much more about it than I, Detective.
Tell me...
The Getty family came to New Orleans in 1800. We worked very hard to get where we are. On the other hand, we've done a lot for this community.
I can believe that. You're doing a lot for me right now.
oh my god. Keep it in your pants, please.
Tell me more.
I'm afraid I don't get out into New Orleans society much. Because of the Getty money, we have slots in the best country clubs and on the best Mardi Gras courts. But I must admit, I hate it. I avoid actually making an appearance unless it becomes absolutely necessary.
I know about those courts. They're very exclusive.
Yes, especially when it comes to people of my race. That's why we don't turn down the appointments. It's a rare opportunity to rub their noses in it. But that's not where I spend my time. I have more important things to do with my life.
That's admirable. Many women would love the chance to get caught up in that kind of life.
I'm not any kind of woman you might be familiar with.
Yes, I can see that.
I don't know what else you want to hear, Detective. Anything you might care to know about my public life you can easily look up in the papers.
Okay.
Do you know anything about snakes?
I'm afraid I quite abhor them.
Why?
What can you tell me about
What they ever do to
St.
you?
John's Eve?
I believe it's some sort of local holiday, but I don't know much about it. I'm afraid...
Do you have any idea what Cabri Saint-Gar means?
No, I don't. What does it mean, Detective?
That's confidential information, ma'am. Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
I have heard of her, of course, but that's about it.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
Animal masks? I don't know what you mean.
Okay, you're just not useful whatsoever.
Have you ever heard of a Schottenjäger?
No, I'm afraid I can't help you with that, Detective.
Can you tell me anything about what happened out at the lake?
I wish I could, but I've never seen or heard anything unusual at the lake, and I do spend quite a bit of time out there. I wish I could.
Tell me.
I suppose I don't really have a choice. What do you want to know, Detective?
What kind of things interest you?
I don't have a lot of free time, but I do appreciate the arts. Opera, symphony, ballet, fine art. If you look around, you'll see that we collect African art, for example.
Yes, it's very beautiful.
It is, Detective. It means a great deal to me.
Do you have a career?
A career? Being the head of the Getty family is a 24-hour-a-day job. We have many holdings and many responsibilities, financial and otherwise. The management of our business affairs and properties leaves me with time for little else.
Poor little rich girl?
Believe it or not, Detective,
Okay.
wealth does have its price.
Tell me about your family.
The Gettys? We're a very private family.
How many people are there in your family?
Well, my mother just passed away.
Rip.
I am sorry.
So am I. She was a magnificent woman. We were very close. I was an only child.
And your father?
I never knew him.
It's hard to believe that any man would leave a woman like you. Or like your mother must have been.
He did not leave, Detective. But that's really none of your concern.
I'm sorry. Go on.
There are, of course, other Gettys in the city. I have a large, extended family.
I see. Do you have a husband? A boyfriend?
I'm very independent, Detective. The women in my family have always preferred it that way.
So, you've never been married?
No, and I never will be.
What about children?
Yes, that is likely. Someday.
I'd like to hear just about anything.
I do a lot of charity work around the city, primarily in the prison and reform system. I'm not a professional sociologist, but it does interest me.
I'd like to hear just about anything.
I have a business degree from Vanderbilt. I wanted to study psychology, but my family's interests came first.
Oh? Why not something like law, then? Surely that would have been an asset to the family.
Law? Please, I do have some morals, Detective.
Good response.
I'd like to hear just about anything.
For the record, I'm 28, Detective.
Damn. Okay.
I'd like to hear just about anything.
I have a few friends. A woman in my position can't really afford them. I try to stay away from the media as much as possible. Last year there was that story about John Kennedy Jr. and I. The phone didn't stop ringing for weeks. I prefer to keep my private life private. I would appreciate it if you would keep my name away from any public association with the police, Detective.
Of course. I'd like to...
I do a lot of charity work.
Okay, so you have nothing else to
I
add?
wouldn't know where to begin.
As you wish to.
All that's left is to flirt.
Excuse me, but your eyes are really distracting. I don't think I've ever seen a color quite like that. Brownish gold. It's so deep and rich. Man, if I could bottle that, I'd make a fortune.
Thank you, Detective. That's an interesting observation, though probably not relevant to your case.
A good detective never knows what might be relevant, Miss Getty.
Then you must be truly exceptional at your job. I think this has gone on long enough. You're not really a detective, are you?
Who, me? Well, I am on this case, Miss Getty.
I saw you at the lake yesterday. I thought you must be with the police since you were there, but you don't act like a police officer. Besides, I'm rather certain that the other
The
man
dog
said
saw me
his
and
name
just
was
immediately
Mosley.
projectile vomited.
All right, you caught me. I'm not with the police. My name is Gabriel Knight. I'm a writer working with Detective Mosley on a book.
Well, Mr. Knight, now that we've established who you are, perhaps you can tell me the real reason you're here.
Well, I am
right.
researching the book. And
I'll
I
probably
thought
be
you might
stopping
see or
here
heard
after this
something at the
conversation
lake.
with Malia.
I don't like liars, Mr. Knight.
Okay, you're right. I really just wanted to see you again. You can be mad at me if you want, but I swear I've never done anything like this before.
Mr. Knight, you've lied about your identity and wasted my time with meaningless questions. If it weren't vaguely flattering, I'd really be angry. You're lucky I don't call the real police. I think you should go, Mr. Knight.
Malia, wait. If you just give me a chance.
I've wasted enough time. I'll have Robert show you out.
There was still that look of recognition
Robert?
in that cutscene.
Show Mr. Knight out, please.
I most certainly will. Thank you very much. I had a lovely time. Ah, shit.
Okay. We'll go ahead and save here and quit. I guess we'll name this Kicked Out of Getty. Yeah, that's good enough. Alright, so that is it for now. So as usual, thanks for stopping in. I'll be back tomorrow maybe with, I guess, Ace Attorney, and see how that goes. But for the time being, stay safe, love yourself, love each other, and I'll see you tomorrow maybe. Ta.
Yeah?